Okie dokie. So this is going to be kind of an important lesson. Just putting that out there. You may have talked about this in 7th or 8th grade. I don't know when they teach it. But in this video, we're going to talk about slope of a line. And basically how to look at a graph and tell what the slope is. We're going to mention the different words for slope, the difference between positive and negative slope, and I'll show you some examples. Okay. So slope in the real world, they're gonna describe it as gradient. That'll be the word that they normally use to describe how slopey something is. In as far as math goes, a lot of times what they do is they describe it as rise and run. So it's basically slope is a number that you use to describe how tilted a line here. So like this line is getting more and more tilted. Okay, it's rising a lot more than it's running. All right. Now, another word that they might use to describe it, and as far as like science and stuff, they would call it rate of change. So how much something up and down is changing with respect to how much it's going over. So like the x-axis here, how much it goes over, might represent time, and the rise, the y-axis, it might represent growth, like whether it's money or population. So let's say this is 1 year, each of these little tick marks. If something is, growing really fast, they would say that it has a high rate of change. Or if it was, less slopey, they would say it has a slow rate of change. But there's different words, rise and run, gradient, like you might talk about the gradient of a roof or the pitch of a roof or the gradient of a road, how tilted the road is. Anyway, positive and negative slope. Let's look at that. This line that I have right here has a positive slope. And the way you tell is you have to look at it from left to right and ask whether it's going uphill or downhill. Okay. So because we normally read stuff left to right, if it's going uphill, doesn't matter how much, it could be going uphill very, very slightly or really, really fast. As long as it's going uphill, we say it has positive slope. Negative slope would be like the opposite. If it's falling when you go from left to right, if it's going downhill. So that's positive and negative slope. Here's an example for how to calculate slope of a line or slope between 2 points. So I'm not actually going to draw the line here, but just imagine there's a line connecting that one, or a line connecting B and C, or a line connecting A and B. Okay, just imagine they're there. Slope, the way that I think of it, slope is a fraction. Okay, so numerator, denominator. Actually, the top number of the fraction is how much it goes up and down, the rise, and the bottom number of the fraction is going to be how much it goes left and right. Now, I think, it's pretty natural. We can tell pretty easy whether the slope is positive or negative. So that's why I like to think of it as a fraction. It makes it just two numbers, pretty simple to calculate. The top number is how much it goes up or down. And the bottom number is how much it goes across, so like left and right. So let's look at A and B, okay? So if we're asking to find the slope of a line between points A and B, we need to identify how much it goes up and down. Notice each of these little grids here, each of these little things right here is 1 unit. So to get from A to B, we're having to go 1 unit down. So that's going to be the top number of our fraction. 1 unit down. And the bottom number is going to be how many across? 1, 2. And notice, ask yourself real quick, from A to B, is it going up or is it going down? is it have positive or negative slope? And this one has negative slope. Okay, so it'd be negative 1/2. All right, we'll just call that, we'll call it AC, or sorry, AB. All right, let's do from A to C. Okay, so let me change color here. All right, so from A to C, let's count how much it's going uphill, or how much it's going up, I should say. From A to C, we got 1, 2, 3. That's the top number of our fraction is 3. And the bottom number is how much it goes across. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3/4. And that would be the slope of the line that connects points A and C. 3/4. And it is positive because it's, obviously going uphill there. Last one to do here, let's do BC. Yeah, undo those. Let's make it in red here. All right, so from B to C, it is positive slope, so it's not going to have a negative. So we need to count how many it goes up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is the top number of our fraction. And to the right, 1, 2. So you get 4 over 2, but if you simplify that, it would be 4 divided by 2. This one, the slope, is a whole number. Okay? So that would be the one that connects BC. You could say 2, or you could say 2 over 1. All right. Let me see how I'm doing on time real quick. 7 minutes. I think we're going to quit here. I'll make a separate video for showing you the one on thatquiz.org.